Okay, Google. Set timer for 50 minutes. Welcome. I want to say thank you so much for coming to iTech. How many people have picked up a couple new things? 2 new things? 3? 4? Good, that you can take back and use. I want to thank you very much for coming. I know it's difficult to be out of your classrooms, out of your buildings, out of your day-to-day job, working with teachers and kids, especially to be gone for 2 days, those of you who are gone 2 days. So I appreciate that. I hope it was worth your time. We will, shameless plug, be emailing a feedback form. So please give us feedback if there's sessions you would like to see. In the future, let us know that too. We will do what we can to recruit those kinds of sessions. They're having fun over there. I heard the word robot. I'm Stacy Behmer, I'm the coordinator of digital learning over at Grantwood AEAS here at Athens. We're going to talk Google Keep, which is one of my favorite tools. How many Google Keep users do I have currently? Okay, so you are going to be experts along with me, so if you have ideas on how to use this or share things, please feel free to pipe in. I am not an expert, but I'm just learning right along with you. If you have questions, that goo.gl/slide/blah, you can, I think I have the Q&A started. I do, because the link is up there. So feel free to throw a question in that, and then I can pull that up and answer the question as we get going. The URL can be found in the session resources, or if you just want to jump to the slide deck, if you go to tinyurl.com/keepstacy, that will get you to the slide deck. So tinyurl.com/keepstacy, and this will be on the 3rd slide too. I'm going to talk about 2 different versions of Google Keep today. How many of you use the Android app or the iOS app for Keep? So a few of you. That's where I primarily use it most of the time. As I'm getting information, I start with Google Keep because my phone is usually always with me. I leave the house and I don't have my phone, I do turn around and go back and get it because I need it with me because I need it with me, that's all. So if you want to, as I'm going through this, I'm going to show some key features. There are screenshots and GIFs to show everything in here. So if you want to play, you can. iOS app, Android app, or the website is just google.com/keep. Or if you go into Gmail, if you're in your mail and you go to the grid, you can click on that Rubik's Cube grid and get to Keep 2 as one of the core services. What we're going to cover today is a little bit of what is Keep, features, how you can use it on the web. I'm going to talk about it mobile. Like I said, this is where I gather a lot of my information, and then I'll bring in some application. If you are using it, please feel free to share too. Love collecting ideas. Right now, though, I want you to turn and talk to somebody next to you about what do you keep lists of? How do you organize your lists? How do you keep track of your notes? And when would students use lists or take little notes? Go ahead and talk. You have 1:45 on the clock. The last session's in.
Unless you got
I know
No, we don't.
I shouldn't have put the camera.
They don't like it.
No, it's fine.
No, it's okay. Never heard of it. Okay. So, what kinds of things do you take lists of? Or take notes on? Shopping lists. Task lists. Did anybody ever give students a list, like a process, that they have to do something sequentially? Like the writing process, I used to have like, this is the first step in the writing process, second step, third step, yeah. What do you guys keep your lists on? Paper. I am, what?
Sticky notes.
I am sticky note like queen. I still have to have my paper sticky notes. I can take notes. So then what I do is I snap a picture of my sticky note because I lose sticky notes, or I had a sticky note of things I needed to get when I got to Des Moines, and it does me no good when it's on my monitor in the office. So yeah, so there's a lot of different things personally and professionally that we take notes of. And that's kind of what Keep is designed to do. And I'm going to talk to you too about some things though, as teachers, we often take a little quarter turn on how we use some tools. We kind of hack the tools to do it for what we want to use them for in the classroom. So I will be demoing some of this, but as I go through these things, just know I have some screenshots on the slide deck for y'all to refer back to. If you go to the website, so if you want to follow along, you can open up the app if you've got a tablet device, or feel free to go to the website, keep.google.com, or keep.google.com. Sometimes, I don't know what the difference is. Some of the websites, like Maps, is google.com/maps. I don't know which one. There's a name convention. Mine might look a little bit different than yours because I have some Chrome extensions turned on. So when I go to Chrome, Keep in my work account, I don't have this bar up here at the top. This is done with the Chrome extension right here. Okay, I have that Chrome extension. I'm going to demo some Chrome extensions that work with this. I will demo those. The links to those are on the last slide, or one of the last slides, okay? So if I start showing you, like, that doesn't look the same. Also, what was I going to tell you about? Yeah, those are on the last slide as it starts to spin. Okay, so Keep. It's a note-taking app. Pretty much that's what it started as. It is now in the domain so that we can use it and our students can use Keep. So if I am in Google Keep, the first thing I can do here is take a note. On a mobile device, if I open up Keep, I have an option to start a new note. So I can just start typing a new note. I type, and then I can title it. I type to-dos. And what do I need to do? I need to send a thank you. I need to clean up printing list. Get my charger. Okay, so I have a list of things. So you can start it as a list like this, but some of us like check boxes on our list. So you can do a narrative, but oftentimes I like check boxes. So you can either start your note as a checkbox, or you can add your checkboxes later. And then you have checkboxes. So now I can move things up and down if I need to prioritize them. So that's just another kind of note. I think that's pretty simple. How these are being used, list of homework assignments. If you have, like I said, the writing process, so there's a step, one by one. You start with your brainstorming, and then you've got a draft, and then you want to go for a peer review, and then publish your final copy. So you can have those as your to-do list tasks too. Also, we're thinking now assignment notebooks, kind of on steroids, because kids can keep track. I can Kids can keep track of their notes, but then one of the beautiful things is you can actually, with your notes, and I'm going to show you some of the features, you can add a time, so you get a reminder, and it'll go on your Google Calendar as well. You can do the free writing note, so I showed you that. You can just start writing. If you free write notes, I always think about like note cards. Did anybody ever have to write like a research paper? Like I totally am still scarred, but not scarred. Mrs. Kolinsky was an amazing teacher, but I got through my junior year and we had to write a huge like research paper. I had a stack of note cards and the outline, and we had to save all those note cards and put them in order and then do the writing process. Did anybody else have to go through that misery? It was a great experience, and I think that's why I'm scared to write anything. So think about this as those note cards electronically. I have a series of note cards, so I can actually use a Chrome extension to start taking those notes. So if I go and I'm doing research on the national parks, so I'm going to go to, national parks. Let's get here. So I'm searching on the web, because I'm not searching in a book anymore, taking notes. What I can do is, I think this is interesting. It falls into my information that I need with my overview. I highlight information. If I click on this Chrome extension up here, Save to Keep, there is the website, and this is what I highlighted, and then I could put this as my supporting detail. So as I'm taking notes, I can start just making those note cards as I'm researching, okay, and add it. So as I get to another website, I can put that in there. One of the things you can add, does anybody use labels in their email? Anybody use hashtags on Twitter to tag things to sort? So I think almost teaching kids how to use hashtags and to tag things should be like a life skill almost, because you can add tags now to keep notes. So if I need to tag this as, you know what, this is part of my national parks, I can hashtag national parks, or if I already have it as a label, I can add that. So you can have a series of tags on this. So if I know maybe I'm going to tag all of my math homework, or all my math assignments, my math notes with the hashtag math. Does that make sense? I see like everybody's like, yeah. None of this is like, I don't think it's rocket science, but it's just knowing that that feature is there. And if you write, if this is social studies, and I don't have the hashtag, if I just start writing it, it'll turn that into a tag. But I'm anal and I don't like words run together, so I'm going to take them off. Okay. Another thing that's pretty cool is if you're on your mobile device, you will see a pencil show up, and you can actually handwrite and annotate on a note. So if you want to, you can write on a note. Another thing you can do is take a picture and then annotate on the Google Keep Note too. So you can handwrite if you want to on a Google Keep Note. So there's a little pencil. If you guys want to look at if you have the app in front of you, you should be able to see the little pencil on there. It's right at the bottom. Another thing that's neat on your mobile device that's a little bit different is there's a microphone. And if you click on the microphone on the Keep Note, it will ask for permission to have access, and once you allow access, you can dictate your note, and it'll do speech to text, so it will transcribe it, but it'll also include an audio recording of what you just said. And so that will be added to my note as well. Does that make sense? You see that a lot easier on your mobile device. So after I go through, like if I get done with the meeting and I'm in the car, I can leave myself a quick note and then go reference it later. Images, there is a camera in the mobile app, So you can click on that and add an image, or you can go get an image. If you are in your photos, you know how you can ask, say, where do you want to open your photo? So if I'm on the photo and I want to add it to Keep, I can click on the photo and then say, open with Google Keep. Just like you would open with like Sketch, or you would open it into another app, Snapseed or another editor app. You can open it up in Google Keep. So what I was doing, I was refinishing, I just moved at the beginning of the summer, and we ripped up the carpet on the stairs, and I had some issues, so I have nice little drywall in here, so I could not get the right risers, and it wasn't measured evenly, so I took a picture of my stairs, I put the dimensions, and I went to Lowe's, and I'm like, okay, help me, can I get risers that fit these stairs? And but I had the picture there, which was really helpful. And another thing though, because I was going to go to Lowe's, let me find my picture of my stairs. Let me find them. Here they are. So one of the nice things I can do with that picture of my stairs, when I know I need to get a reminder when I go to Lowe's, do you see this little string on your finger? It's a reminder. And I can say, I want to be reminded on a date or time, so when I go to Lowe's on August 7th, let me know at 8 p.m. This is where it's awesome for kids. Hey, I have an assignment due. Set a reminder. Or we have some folks that have, these are the things that I need to go home, like my take-home folder kind of thing. Remember to bring your charger home. Remember to bring this home. Remember this, bring this home. Let's just do this as a reoccurring event every day at 3 o'clock when I'm at my locker. Have that note pop up. There it is. Does that make sense? This is how it's kind of that steroids aspect, but this is where it's even cooler. Instead of doing pick a time, I can pick a place. So, and how many people do this with their phones right now, where like grocery store, when you come close, remind me, if I get close to Target, my phone erupts. But I can choose the location. So I want to say when I get to Lowe's, home improvement. So now I've set it. When I pull into the Lowe's parking lot, that list is going to pop up for me. So at my house, it can pop up, tell me, hey, as soon as I get home, I need to remember to plug in my device to charge it for the next day. So the location and the time are pretty cool. Now, you can share notes. So I'm like, sweet, I'm the teacher. I'm going to set reminders for all my kids. We're going to share this note with everybody. You can't do that. You can't set reminders or locations for other people. But you could walk through as a class, okay, everybody set your reminder. Here's our to-do list. So if you got the writing process, here's what people wanted to do. We want to have our brainstorm due on Monday. Okay, I need a rough draft done by Friday. Because they're both on the same list, you have to just update the due date every single, you can't have multiple like reminders for the things on the same list. So I have to update after Monday, then I can set the next reminder for Wednesday or Friday, whatever the next day is. So just so you know that those reminders you can't share with other people. Is that a feature request? Sure. The beautiful thing about this, if I set this reminder, reminders will show up on your Google Calendar too. So if you set a keep reminder, it'll be at the top if you see the reminders calendar. The link to my slide deck is tinyurl.com/keepstacy. It should, when I get to the slide deck, it's going to be on there. Any questions about anything so far? Other than just going to the slide deck? How many people picked up one new thing? Okay, but there's still hands down, so I'll work on you guys next. This is my favorite part. Okay, so if you have an image, I could go back to that sign and take a picture of that image. If I want to extract the text, I can go to the 3 little dots and grab image text, and it will pull out the text from the image. So here's me thinking as Elementary school teacher who doesn't like watching my kids like type, like just wrote type from a book. I took a picture of a paragraph in the book using my tablet, right? Put it into Google Keep, and then I grabbed the image text from the paragraph. So then the kids have that, they don't have to retype it. They might have to change some spacing. Does that make sense? So I totally cheated. Let me see if I've got an example in here. Right here. So what it did, and I've learned, so I've got that, I took a picture of a book, 3 dots, grab image text, booyah, it pulls it. Here's what I learned from my mistake. It doesn't know that that's a paragraph, so it's just pulling the text straight across.
Oh.
So zoom in and just take that picture and chunk it up. And then you'll get it right. But it pulled that text right down there. It's pretty cool. I did it too on the, obviously that was a book. Now who's learned something new? Still have 2 hands in the back, or they're just checking email. This is Tuesday. No, if you already have images on your desktop,
I'll give her that.
what you can do with a note, I'm just going to grab one, and grab an image. I can upload, I wonder how it'll do it with this. I can upload images and then try to grab that text as well. I don't know what it's going to do with this. Yeah.
You know how you can upload a PDF and do that in a doc? Can it do PDFs too, not just images?
I haven't tried PDF. I don't know.
I never tried that.
I
always put it into a doc because it's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have thought of bringing it in here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
we
you
can
can
try that, Chad.
You can grab
Oh, yeah,
text from a
it pulled out all
PDF
the
and
text.
docs.
Yeah, you open a PDF in docs and it will OCR all the text.
She's got to take one. See, it's even the end. Are you glad you stayed?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. PDF, but you can save an image as a PDF pretty easily. Any image, just convert it to PDF.
Convert to PDF. We can show you how.
Yeah, well, you just print it. Go to print and save as PDF, and then you have your PDF.
I'm using my slide deck.
No, just print.
Okay, so what can you do? Just ideas. So now I've got these keep notes.
No.
What can I do with them? I've shown you a few things. I can, with my keep note, at the bottom, do the reminders. I can add collaborators. So Carrie and I were collaborating on this as a to-do list. I can change the color. So this is pretty cool. I can actually, and I'm a color code person, so I can color code my notes. These are the only color selections you get. I apologize. What I saw that was pretty interesting in a blog post that somebody did is they took, I used to have my kids all color code their folders too. So we would have all our social studies stuff, science, math, whatever. And this is just an image. I just did a little screenshot and then shared that keep note. I could potentially share that keep note with my kids, or they could create their own. So they knew everything for social studies color coded blue. If it's science, we're going to color code it green. Math, whatever. So instead of using tags, I could use color coding too. That's why, remember that extension I had at the top? I like for kids, because this lets you quickly, oops, take a screenshot. This lets you quickly click on math, and there's all my yellow tab. Okay, so, or I can go here, show me all my blank, all my tabs. And blank means white, not blank.
Stacy, what's the name of that extension?
It is on the last slide.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, I just don't remember. I don't remember, Chad. It's on
Yep, okay.
It's on the last slide. I think it's, I don't know. Colored tabs, category tabs for key things. Okay, so what else can I do? I have this note up. I can archive. You archive keep notes just like you were archiving an email. It doesn't delete it. It just puts it in a out of sight, out of mind folder. Why is that a good thing? Well, sometimes you might want to refer back to a to-do list. We're planning a conference, a literacy conference at Grantwood, and we had a to-do list for the literacy conference. Well, what we're going to do is we did it last year. It was a good event, so we're going to do it again next summer. So let's pull out our old keep note and pull that back. And we also can make a copy. So that's another nice little, again, 3 little dots. You can add a label here, you can make a copy, you can add a drawing. Like I said, drawings I think are easier on a tablet device. And you can hide or show check boxes. Okay. So you guys are all, as I go to conferences now, I used to always use like a Google Doc and keep my running notes. Now what I do is I just put it on a keep note because I can sort. But let's say this is an awesome list and I want to share it with someone. If I hit copy to Google Docs, or think about if it's a writing, if you're doing some writing and these are those kids' note cards, copy to Google Docs. And patience is a virtue, and then we open the doc. It will take my keep note and convert it to a doc. So now I can keep going. It will not, this is a request I have made. In my little give them feedback. If Carrie and I are shared on the keep note and I make it a doc, would you share that doc with her too? Because they don't. They just give it to me. So I don't know. Okay. Questions thus far? Trying to execute good wait time. Because I get really excited and I talk really fast. But I think you start to play with it more and more. Hashtags again are a good sort feature. Now, like I said, everything's important and nothing's important. Well, really we have important stuff. We have lists and things that we need to look at all the time. Your iTech list is probably going to be something you're going to want to reference, maybe. My keep note for the first couple weeks, and then I just want to keep it. I don't want to have it at the top of my list. So, just like you can pin tabs in Google Chrome. Does anybody pin tabs or lock tabs in Google Chrome? You can lock a tab in Chrome. You can pin a tab or pin a keep note. So if I know I want this note to be at the top, I come up here and I say pin note. And once I put a little pin in it, it'll go to the top. All my pinned notes are at the top. I can move them around if I want to. So I can have this one always at the top so the kids know how to color code. And then below that is all of your other stuff. So after iTech gets over, I can either archive or just unpin that note. And then it's just going to go to the bottom. Does that make sense? So the important stuff you're working with all the time. So if I were in the classroom and kind of using this as my assignment notebook workflow, and people are saying too that, well, we have Google Classroom, we have Canvas, we have Schoology, that's where the kids are getting their to-do list. Yeah, but sometimes there's steps to the process that might not necessarily be in their LMS. So if you wanted to pin those little reminders, another tip, if you have kids doing projects, what you might want to have them do is have them create the note and share it with you. So if you're giving them feedback or there's a process and you want to track where are they at in the process, check, check, check. have them share with you. You can always take yourself off of that then later. Okay. Reminders, like I said, if you have a reminder and you set it as a time, it will go to your Google Calendar at that specific time. Old, like current Google Calendars, you might not see the reminders if you have your task calendar turned on. So over here under my calendars, you can either have a task calendar or a reminder calendar. I'm super curious. Chad, have you seen your calendars yet? Okay, is that still there? A task calendar?
I didn't pay that close of attention.
No, it's like the inviting the day to day. I'm curious if they got rid of the task list here because Google Keep is now a core service. So that's why I'm super, that announcement today makes me pretty excited. So look, if you don't see the reminders showing up, it's because you have your task calendar turned on. So you just got to toggle.
So it needs to be which one?
It needs to be reminders. It needs to be reminders because Keep is your task list now. You don't need the task list in calendars or email because you're using this task list. And again, like it's going to change the next, like the new calendar will be out. I don't have it yet to look. Now I'm moving into the next step. In Keep 2, just so you know, when you're in here, here are a bunch of your sorts so you can create all of your labels. So you can have a bunch of different labels like you do folders for email, and you could sort over here. You can also say, hey, just show me the stuff I have reminders so I can just see the notes that I have a reminder tagged on. If you want to make your labels in advance, you can. You just hit edit, and you can create all of your labels in advance. Search. It gives you all these options on how you could search. Okay, let's go all of them. This is where I get really excited because it's more than just like the just sticky note kind of things. You can, as of the spring, go in and there's integration with Google Keep and a Google Doc. So if I go to Tools, Show Keep Notes, all of my Google Keep Notes come over to the side, pinned first. And then I can drag and drop those over. So remember how I was doing the national parks and I made a little keep note for my national park? I was on a website and I used the extension to take my note. What I can do is have my outline on national parks. So here's my outline, national parks. I'm going to go to Tools, Keep Notepad, and I'm going to search. It's really hard. Sometimes I click on Take a Note. To go to your search, you have to click on the little guy up here at the top, the magnifying glass. And I'm just going to look for anything with national parks. Here are some of my national parks information. So what I could do is start pulling, if that's a Yellowstone. So I'm going to pull that down here. There's Yellowstone National Park. Let's do, this is about Yellowstone too, so I can pull this in, Yellowstone. So, Grand Canyon. But now I'm organizing and bringing my research that I've done into a doc. So I don't have to break the flow or copy and paste. It will also, by using that extension, it gives you the website. So you'll be able to help with your citations too. I would still be using like a easy bib or something to hold your bibliography as you go if you want to know the exact date that you pulled that information from the website. Did you guys see that? Do you understand that process? Use the Keep Note extension to gather all your research, and then open a Google Doc, and then start pulling the notes in where they go. This has just been made available. Google Keep can now be pulled into slides too, as of like last week. So if I had an image too, I could pull an image in that way as well. It doesn't just have to be text. So if I go in here and so this is what's kind of cool, and there's a blog post about this, but I've just uploaded a bunch of Bitmojis. And it's like a, so I could have this as if I'm doing some assessment or looking at his kiddo's project. I could have a bunch of feedback like stickers if I wanted to, without killing the bank on stickers. Also could bring in, if you are thinking again that annotation, if you have another image and you annotate on it with that pencil in Google Keep, or if you're solving a math problem, sometimes people like to solve the math problem on regular paper, snap a picture, put it into Google Keep, and you could drop it in there, and then if you needed to write out your explanation or explain your thinking, there's a lot of uses for images.
Question.
Yeah.
So I have some teachers that are stuck on Noodle tools.
Noodle tools?
And
Yeah.
when you have a tool like this, I'm not sure if this is the right place to ask.
Yeah, go ahead and ask. I don't know if I know the answer, but we can talk about it.
I guess I'm thinking the argument is get rid of Google, our Noodle tools, because you've got Google Keep that does the same things Noodle tools does. Am I correct in my thinking?
I don't know Noodle tools well enough to say yes, it'll do everything. But what I might want to do is have a couple teachers work side by side to see if it works. If it does cover their big ticket items. And sometimes the interface too, I would make sure you're paying sometimes for the ease of use. And if it's easy for the kids and the comfort level and it's not worth it might not be worth the switch. Now if it's a budget restraint, let's see, because in anticipation that we might not be able to fund that in the future. And this wasn't around, like this has just been around since spring in the domain. But it's worth a try. But again, sometimes if they're comfort with it and they're moving and shaking, I wouldn't rock that boat. And the same thing too with that, using the reminders versus putting it in Google Classroom or the LMS. You gotta figure out what works for you and your teachers and your students. Did I skirt around that answer? As kids are writing, Eric Kurtz, does anybody follow the blog Control Alt Achieve? Eric is an amazing guy. So he did, and so what I just did too, by the way, add to doc, there's a given here. Oh, and searching to do the stickers, there's a gift for that too. Eric did a nice blog post, or actually it's a video, to show how to give feedback. So as a teacher, sometimes you find yourself giving similar comments. I mean, if you're assessing something and you're looking for something specific, your comments, your feedback should be custom to the kid, but there's some general things that are going to be the same. So he goes through in this video and talks about, how you can make a keep note for that standard, and then you leave bullets for your phrases that you want to include for your assessment, so you can drag those over so you're not typing the same thing over and over again. So if I'm grading, again, I'm going back to writing, if there's something specific that we're looking at punctuation, I might have a keep note that's just punctuation feedback that I can drag in as the teacher. We only have 50 minutes. So that's why I included the video. So as you're ready for that, this video does a nice job walking through that. And Eric's a great follow. Chrome extension, so what I talked about before is that category tabs for Google Keep. That's the thing at the top. Let me show you quick how to change the name. There's a couple ways you can change the names. When it comes in, they're just going to call it teal, blue, gray, whatever the colors. One way to do it is just like any extension. If you control click on a Mac or right click on a PC or whatever click, I don't remember on a Chromebook exactly what it is. But if you go to the options, it'll seem like it's not going to be there. But here I can reorder them and rename them. So again, I did a right click on the extension itself, and then I just said options. Another way to do it is when you are in Google Keep, if you come all the way down to the bottom and go to customize categories. So you guys, if you're on your computer right now, you won't see those. If you go to customize categories, it'll pop you to that too. So kind of a nice little feature. If you don't need them all, if you only need 2 or 3, you can do that. So categories tab for Keep. Heather Callahan, I need to link her blog post in there. She is on the NEDA board in Nebraska. She did a blog post all about a day in the life of Keep and how she uses it, from like getting up in the morning to getting her kids ready personally, but then also how she uses it professionally and how she's seeing it used. And it's a really cute, quick, easy reader, but it gives a lot of concrete examples as we're going. I have a Keep note as people are recommending books to read. If you noticed, I have, so I just, as people are mentioning titles, I will throw it on my book list, which is a lot easier for me than digging into Google Docs to go find it. What else do I use it for? Did you see my recipe list? But it's nice because it gives the link and a little thumbnail to the recipe of the website where it is. So other issues, panel view, the Google Keep extension, this one is the one I used as I was taking a note, and I wanted to make a note about. So that's the one I would use as I'm researching. And this panel view, that's just a quick jump to Google Keep to the panel view, to the Keep website. Extensions are only good on Chromebooks, Mac, PC, Chrome web browser devices. So that color coding sort isn't going to be good on a tablet or your phone. Okay, so that's where pinning tabs is going to be important, so you're not scrolling, and or adding the tags to it, so you can sort on a label or a hashtag. Last thing, I think I forgot to tell you. You can also, I did forget to tell you, I don't think. Right here, some people like the list view. So if you click on list view, that's going to just go a little bit more organized. On all of your Keep notes. It doesn't give you that Pinterest look. Okay. Question. Ideas? Yeah.
I just keep missing presentation link, sorry.
Keep Stacy. tinyurl.com/Keep Stacy, and it is also on the iTech session resources. Oh, it's over here on the right now. You don't see it. I'll put it up quick. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Oh, there's a ghost.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is not about Keep though.
Okay.
In your presentations I've seen you do, you have kind of that live video of clicking through. What do you use to get that?
I made a GIF, animated GIF with, I use Snagit, the application Snagit to do it. Amber Bridge and Jonathan Wiley, 2 folks on my team, they did a blog post with different ways to make GIFs and how to use them. So if you go to DL for digital learning, GWAEA.org, so grantwoodaea.org, on our blog posts, they have a whole thing about GIFs and how to create them and ideas on how to use them. It's kind of slick. I need to remember I have them and I'm making them more instead of live demoing because sometimes it's glitchy. If you just go to DLGWAEA, digitallearninggwaea.org, our blog is there. It's one of those links, and you'll just search for GIFs.
What about like the quote you've been doing on Twitter, like the keynote speaker,
I use Canva
okay,
for that, and actually I use some of them. I use Snapseed.
okay.
Snapseed is free. It's a photo editor. It's a Google one, but it's free. But yeah, I've been using Canva or Snapseed, or I've used Canva. Those are the two, and two free tools.
Yeah.
I paid for a little bit of Canva, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Because I answered all your key questions. Do you guys have ideas on how you could use it? Yeah? Okay. I'm starting to take pictures. What I really want to do, and Beth did this one, to take pictures of handwriting. If it's neat enough, it'll actually convert handwritten text to typing, too. So that's going to encourage me to get my really nice teacher handwriting back. But I'm just thinking as accommodations for kids, too, as they type, if they can snap a picture and bring it in, that might be helpful for some. Okay. My contact information is here. This is what I get to do with my team all the time. So if you have questions after you leave here, because we have 2 days of tons of information, do not hesitate to reach out. I can guarantee you I'm not going to answer any email. I'm not going to guarantee answering any email or tweets tomorrow. But after I get back in the office on Thursday, I will try really hard. Board meeting, if you want to try and win stuff. If not, have a wonderful rest of the week. Yes?
Where is that board meeting?
That's town hall.
305.
305.
Okay.
It's where everybody's going to be going.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, you guys.